There is no city in America affected by the migrant crisis like the Big Apple. New York, the city of dreams, but everything in New York ain't always what it seems. You guys know about that lyric that comes from the Dog Pound, and man, is that ever so true right now. The greatest city in America and one of the best cities in the world is now becoming a playground for crime. And not because of crimes from those in New York. Gunshots! Because we know how they get down in NYC. They don't play no games out there. Nope, we have an influx in crime from the migrants. And these are migrants that not all of them are bad. We understand that. They're looking for the American dream, but they've been put into New York City, which is known as a sanctuary city. Now, a sanctuary city, one of the things that it has is pretty much they're not going to be prosecuted for being there illegally. You can't report them to deportation authorities, right? So they're going to be able to be there. And if they commit a crime within New York City, they may or may not be sent back. So people that are from other countries coming to New York City, they're like, putting two and two together. Gunshots! Yeah, let's get into it. But see, one of the conduits of what's going on right now for the migrant crisis is you gotta have a mayor that's for it. And Eric Adams, who used to be a Republican, by the way, and a former police officer, he's been a person really praising migrants in the past. Clips like this make you believe he's all for it.
As the mayor of the city of New York, I don't, weigh into immigration issues, border issues. I have to provide services for families that are here, and that's what we're going to do. And that's what our responsibility as a city. I'm proud that this is a right to shelter state, and we're going to continue to do that. This is horrific when you think about what the governor is doing, the governor of Texas, after a month of traveling across the border, placing on the bus with no direction to come here to New York. And New York is a city that has always represented the democratic values and the values of our city of showing our compassion. And that's what we're doing today.
But man, we got loom, gloom, and doom. Millions of dollars being spent, migrants everywhere. He even had a Senegalese brother that got caught up for having migrants in his furniture store.
Dozens of men were cramped into the basements of his two stores, many with beds stacked on top of each other. One of the illegal shelters was in Fordham in the Bronx, the other in Richmond Hill, Queens.
CBS 2's Jennifer Bisram reports now on the safety concerns and also the new option the city is exploring to house migrants.
Every day I talk to them. I've been running back and forth between Queens and the Bronx.
Two basements of businesses in two boroughs housing African migrant men. Ibu Sar has been leading the charge.
They don't know where to go.
Sar owns both businesses and leases space at both locations. But city officials say he was housing dozens of migrants in illegal sleeping quarters in Queens and the Bronx. Dozens of beds and cots in tight spaces in the cellars and on the first floors with limited ventilation, exits, and bathrooms. Inspectors also finding e-bikes, space heaters, and hot plates.
Yeah, so much for that brother talking about he was trying to help those brothers and sisters out, while he was charging them $300 a day in his dusty ass furniture store. But let's get back to Eric Adams. Now, he's had a change of heart. At first, he thought he was giving people, the American dream opportunity. And of course, the American dream should be given to anybody who can achieve it. But typically what America would prefer are skilled immigrants that come into the country, most notably with money and high education. Those are the people more likely to build up the society. However, you do need those people to do things at the lower wages, fast food, and construction. However, Eric Adams didn't expect to see the uptick in crime in New York City. So this is what he's saying now.
I don't believe people who are violent in our city and commit repeated crimes should have the privilege of being in our city.
Oh yeah, sounds like something that everybody can get along with that. I don't care if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. Yeah, we need to get those people committing crime out of the city. But this police officer's testimony is so touching. Listen to what he's saying is going on right now in New York City.
Well, what we've been seeing with the migrants and the crime wave, if you will, is robberies and purse snatches on mopeds, which we took care of, and we'll talk about it in a moment. We're seeing pickpockets on the train, pickpockets in Times Square. We're seeing domestic violence, and most recently, we're seeing mob-like activity. People going to stores, Bloomingdale's, Sunglass, LensCrafters just the other day, snatching glasses and fleeing the store.
I saw that video of the same thing at an Apple store.
Correct.
They go in like a mob and they just start taking everything.
Correct. So this is what we're seeing right now, but just like any other crew, if you will, a group of people, we don't care who you are, but when the moped robberies and purse snatches were taking effect earlier this year, we arrested all of them. And guess what? We don't see it anymore. So we have some crews with the migrants committing crime. We're going to deal with them like any other crime wave we have and put them in jail. And quite frankly, what the mayor just said, if you come to this country seeking the American dream, and while you're waiting for your status to be upgraded, and you're committing violent crimes against New Yorkers or this country, you should be put in jail. And once that term is over, you forfeit the right to the American dream and get out of our country.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear you talk like this, Chief, because this is exactly how most people feel. It's how I felt when I saw that illegal come out of being processed and give everybody the finger. And I'm thinking, why isn't this guy on a plane back to wherever he came from right now? What is he doing, giving us the finger now?
A complete slap on our face. And also gives the migrants who are here who want to seek the American dream, who want to work, who want to contribute, gives them a bad name. We're talking about a small group of people, not the whole 170,000. But we're going to deal with it. And you're not going to harm New York City. You're not going to harm this country. We're going to try to put you in jail like any other group. And like I said, you forfeit that right.
Oh, that's right. Even him, once he gets off work, his kids are on the subway. They're everywhere. You know, these particular gangs that are being formed are operating in New York City. And guess what? They don't have no respect for the law. And we know that can happen any place, right? But see, the concern for me is this. What about black citizens in New York City where apartment rent is so high, housing is so high, food is so high? We have certain food deserts in New York City in the black communities where at certain you had residents traveling 26 blocks just to get vegetables, healthy foods in the black community. And now we have people who are coming in outside of the country getting access to everything. And sometimes shelters that are better than the ones that people in New York City can get. Remember Tiffany Fulton, the sister out in Harlem, New York? She really exposed this fact. Let's check it out.
I was one of the few Harlem residents that went on that tour, and it's a beautiful location. And we have a housing project right across the street, St. Nicholas Houses, where they're getting ready to be relocated or displaced because they're going under renovation. So I did ask the mayor and I asked all the other city officials there, instead of displacing the senior citizens or people that are disabled, if we're going to make this a migrant or we're going to make this a shelter period, why not make it for the people across the street in that housing project of over 3,000 people with disabilities and senior citizens? Why not move them in there?
And as much as this puts the country on hold, New York City, this is a diverse city. What about the black residents in New York City? You know, because they were already the ones racially profiled in the city and all of that, no opportunities. So then you bring these other people in and then they're committing crime. And I know what people are going to say. If any of them people appear to be black migrants creating crime or dark immigrants creating crime, who are you going to blame? You're going to blame the black community for that. And I know that's what's going to happen, and it could happen. Not trying to start any beefs or quails, but this is the truth. So the situation is now we don't know who is who. The reality is this, people. In New York City is a very big blue city. It's Democrat all day. You African Americans in New York City on election time may need to reconsider what y'all see. Y'all not getting no respect in New York City. You're not getting no respect in Chicago. You need to figure out why we not getting no respect in those cities, right? Almost every city that Democrats run, and I'm just gonna be real, and I'm not trying to say Republicans can do a better job because we don't know. But the situation is this: Philly, Chicago, New York City, St. Louis, Detroit, Youngstown, Ohio, Jackson, Mississippi, Atlanta. Some of those cities, if not all of them, are very dangerous. Right nearby New York City, Newark. All of them, you see African Americans completely at the bottom, doing bad, and ultimately being replaced. And yeah, these people who can come in and commit crimes probably got a better chance of getting out of jail than you do. That's right. They can commit crimes all day in New York City and might not even get deported, still accessing the opportunity for the American dream. And the American dream is a dream that all of us strive for. I know that's what I wanted when I was coming up, but it should be given, in my honest opinions, to Americans, in particular Black Americans, who fought in every war in the country. World War II, Vietnam, the Korean War. And the sad thing about that is those African Americans that came back from those wars were ostracized when they came back. Imagine you go to war to die and fight for a country and come back from Vietnam and can't get a job. And then you let people who come into that same country, who have never paid any taxes, who don't help develop New York, who don't help develop anything in the same way, and then they get everything. It is sad at best. And this mayor, Eric Adams, he's a flip-flopper, just like Brandon Johnson. They used to put on some sandals and get some flip-flops because they go back and forth, trying to make a political correct statement out of lies. And a liar can't make a politically correct statement. He can't. Wanna know why? He's a liar. And they're gonna continue to lie. And guess what? So many people in the Black community could be at risk. Imagine your mom coming out the subway late at night, your sister, your father, your brother. Crime is going up on subways. You don't know what to expect now because you got people who feel like, listen, we can commit this crime and probably get away with it, and if not, ain't nothing gonna happen to us. And then these people also could have certain elements of, well, shoot, we ain't got nothing to lose. That's the most dangerous person. Somebody who feels like they ain't got nothing to lose is dangerous. And everybody is affected by that. So again, think twice for who you vote for. You might be voting for your own downfall. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. The episode of King Ghana. I'm out.